Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to make this beautiful design. If you're just clicking in for the first time, you're welcome to my channel. Please do well to subscribe to our channel before leaving. To the materials to use, they include raw silk fabric, organza fabric, of which 1 yard will be enough for each of them, and then we have scissors, measuring tape, matching color of thread and needle, as well as gum and accessories for embellishment. This design is divided into the turban cap, which is made up with raw silk, of which you can use 1 yard and there'll still be left over, but the base is going to be lined, so it's going to be doubled. It's a gathered or pleated turban cap, and then it has this bow design made with organza fabric at one side. It's a very simple, easy and beautiful now design. To start with, for my fabric, the band, I have my band here. The measurement is 4.5 inches by 22 inches, 4.5 by 22. Then for the base, since I'm going to be lining, it requires 2 pieces of fabric, but then lining is optional. The measurement for my base is 26 inches for the length by 18 inches for the width. 26 by 18 inches cut out twice for the base, 26 by 18. Now for my organza, we'll be needing 3 different pieces of fabric. Although we have 3 different pieces of fabric, the width for all the 3 pieces of fabric are the same, and the measurement for the width is 16 inches. While for the length, the first fabric is 16 inches by 16 inches. The second piece of fabric is 19 inches by 16 inches. While the third piece of fabric is 21 inches by 16 inches. So in all, 16 inches is for the width, while the length is 16, 19 and 21. So you can get 1 yard of organza fabric and then cut it across the full length, which is 60 inches, and then divide it so as to get the measurement required. Now when it comes to sewing, get your organza fabric, each piece of organza fabric that you have cut out. Now fold it into 2 equal halves and then stitch it from one end of the fabric down to the other end for the 3 pieces that you have cut out. After which, turn your fabric inside out, then iron your fabric to straighten it out so that it can come out fine, very beautiful. So that is it for the organza fabric. Now for the turban cap, since it's a gathered or pleated turban cap, we have to mark out the fabrics for the pleats, and I have done that before now. So if you look carefully on my fabric, you will see marked outlines. Now to do this, you first have to determine the measurement for your intervals for the pleats. As for me, I'm working with 1.5 inches. So all you have to do is that you get your measuring tape based on your fabric. From one end, you measure out 1.5 inches, mark it out. The other side, measure out 1.5 inches and then you mark it out. Come back again, take your measurement, mark it out, take your measurement, mark it out, in that order until you get to the end of the fabric. And then as soon as you get to the end of your fabric, you can now get your ruler to extend the lines. That's what makes up these lines that are here. So this is the first piece of fabric, and then I'll go ahead to get the second piece of fabric. I will now go ahead to join everything that is both piece of fabric together, since we want to line it so as to make it have a bit of width. And then I'm trying to use my pins to hold both pieces of fabric together so that sewing it together can be easy. I will not have issues with my fabric moving from one place to the other. So as soon as we are done holding our fabric in place, the next thing we'll be doing is sewing. Now when it comes to sewing, get your fabric, pick the first marked line, fold it into two, or rather fold it down and sew it from one end to the other end. Then as soon as you are done with the first one, go over to the second one and repeat the same thing. Fold down and stitch from one end to the other. Fold down, stitch from one end to the other, and that order until you have done that for this entire fabric. Now when you are done with that, you find out that this is going to be the wrong side of your fabric or of your cap, while this other side is going to be the fine side. So when you are done sewing on this side, go ahead to fold your fabric into two equal halves. Then you either make a notch at the middle or you mark it using your thread, and after which you open it up on the fine side. So this is the fine side and this is the midpoint of my fabric. Now get the fabric for your band, fold into two, the wrong side should be inside and the fine side should be facing you, and then mark it from, also mark the midpoint so that you have it this way when open. Go ahead to now fold your fabric into two along the length, wrong side inside, fine side outside, then place at one side of the band where you already made your notch. Please ensure that the midpoint of your fabric aligns with the midpoint of your base. So place it down this way, use your pins to hold it down from one end to the other, then proceed to stitch it down from one end to the other end. Right here I'm done sewing. This is the wrong side of my cap. I've sewn down on the marked lines, this is it, and then I folded into two, took the notch of the base, that is took marked the middle of my base, then made a notch, also made a notch on the middle of my band. I placed it down on the fine side and I have sewn it down just like I explained earlier. So this is now the fine side together with my band. The next thing I'll be doing is that I'll be folding this into two equal halves and I'll be stitching it down. So I will stitch it down this way. I'll stitch it down like this, take it this way, stitch it down here and stitch it down here. So like this way, and then this way, and after which I'll get back. I'm done making my sewing stitch from this end to this point, all the way to the end and to this end. The next thing we're going to be doing is that we're going to be making our running stitch. The running stitch is going to be from here to here because it's a gathered or pleated turban cap. So I have my needle and thread here, and then I'll just start passing my needle and thread in and out until I get to the end. So we're done with the running stitch on this part. The next we're going to be working on is the gathers at the middle of the cap. Now this is still the wrong side of my turban cap, and you see me folding it down so that I can now get the middle very well. So coming to this part where I have the middle, we are going to be passing our needle and thread at the middle this way, but it's on that part that we pleated and we have sewn down. So we're passing it at the middle, but on the part where we have pleated and have sewn down. So I'll start from this, the midpoint here. You can see where I made my notch. So I'll just pass my needle through it and I'll keep going. I'll pick one, pass it through the middle, that part that we pleated and had sewn. I'll continue in that order until I get to the end. Now on getting to the end, I'll go ahead to secure my thread and cut off the excess thread. So this is the wrong side of my cap. As soon as I'm done with the gathers at the middle, this is the back, and I'm flipping it over to the fine side. I have it this way. I can now go ahead to create any design of my choice and we'll be adding it on it. So let me keep this aside. So right here I have the 3 pieces of my organza fabric. I have sewn it, I turned it inside out, and I went ahead to iron my fabric. So this is what I have. Now I went a little extra. After sewing my fabric and turning it inside out, I took the measurement and I'm having about 7.5 inches. So I went further to cut my plain fabric, that is my raw silk fabric, using the same length for each of the organza fabric, and I cut out about 7 inches full, and the length is the same thing with that of each piece of fabric. 3 pieces of raw silk fabric too, the width is 7 inches. Then I went ahead to pass it inside my organza fabric. It's like when you sew your fabric and you're passing your crinoline inside. So the organza is our fabric, while the raw silk fabric is like the crinoline. So I passed it inside each of this piece of fabric that I'm having here. So what I will do now is that I will fold each piece of fabric into 2, take it down to my sewing machine and stitch it at the edge. And after stitching, I'll get back for us to continue. So you are folding it down like this. So this is my organza fabric with my raw silk fabric inside, and I make sure to cut the length across the stretchy part of the fabric, while the width is the non-stretchy part of the fabric. That's for my raw silk. So after sewing, you should have it like this. It should be neat. If you have a weaving machine, please weave the edges. So I'm going to turn each one inside out. I will have the sewn part placed at the middle. Now this is the biggest one. You can see the sewn part is at the back. This is the middle fabric. This is the sewn part. Place it at the middle. And then this is the smallest piece of fabric. I have it placed at the middle. Then we can now go ahead to create our design. We're going to go ahead now. I have one on each other this way. We'll pleat the fabric to form our bow design. So I'll just start folding it in like this. So just pleat it down at the middle. I'll keep pleating it until I have this. So just gather it at the middle by making your pleats, and then we'll be having it like this. So I'll get my needle and thread to tack through the middle part. So as soon as I'm done tacking the bow, this is it. This is the back view. Then I'll get my turban cap, which I already have on my dummy head. And then I'll go ahead to fit it so as to get the right fitting for it. And after which I can use my pins to hold it down in place. Then make use of my needle and thread to tack it down together. So I want to tack off camera. Tacking is not difficult. You just start passing your needle and thread from the wrong side to the fine side in that order. And then for this middle part, I'll come back to show us how to do next as regards embellishment. So as soon as we are done tacking, this is it. For embellishment, I have this flower accessory, and I also have my gum. So I'll just apply gum, and then I can glue this down like this for embellishment. I also have these roses. It just depends on whatever accessory you want to use. All I have to do is to apply my gum and then glue it down like this, or glue it down like this, and my design is ready. So that's it. I'll finish this up, place on my dummy head, then choose the final outlook. And this is what we have. thank you so much for watching. Please do well to share, do well to like, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Kindly follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. We are there as JenieConcept. Until our next tutorial, bye.